The fractured bond between William and Harry. The widening gulf between William and Harry is no secret to those closely watching the lives of the British royal family. Once inseparable brothers, their relationship has deteriorated into a tense standoff fraught with resentment and unspoken grievances. At the heart of this fragmentation lies a complex mixture of personal wounds, divergent paths, and fierce loyalties. William, who has long borne the weight of family expectations, now finds himself confronting feelings of betrayal as Harry's choices challenge not only tradition, but also trust itself. The tension has simmered for years, but recent events have pushed William's patience beyond its limit. Harry's public declarations and his increasingly bold moves to carve out an independent life across the Atlantic have not just been a source of disappointment, they have ignited a deep sense of anger. The image of a brother who once shared dreams and duties, now promoting a separate narrative, has been difficult for William to accept. Behind the regal facade, this rift cuts deeply, undermining the very foundation of their bond. Key moments have highlighted the growing divide between these royal siblings. Family gatherings that should have been joyful have become occasions marked by awkward silences or outright avoidance. William's warning to those around him is clear. Mention Harry, and you risk being thrown out of the room. Such an ultimatum reveals the depth of his hurt and his determination to shield himself from further pain. It is not merely about protecting the family image, but about drawing a firm boundary that acknowledges his own feelings of disillusionment. William's anger is fueled by Harry's so-called return plan, a brazen strategy that appears to disregard the emotional toll of their fractured relationship. This plan involves returning to the UK in various public guises, potentially rekindling old alliances, and spotlighting their differences rather than their shared history. For William, this is not just a matter of protocol or publicity. It feels like an intrusion on a private family wound that demands respect and sensitivity, neither of which seem forthcoming from his brother. Adding layers to the discord is the role of their spouses, who have further complicated an already fragile relationship. The influence of Meghan on Harry's decisions is a point of contention for William, who perceives it as a factor driving a wedge between them. The dynamics among these four individuals reflect more than personal disputes. They symbolize clashing visions for the future of the monarchy itself. William, now more than ever, feels compelled to stand firm in defense of what he sees as the rightful traditions and responsibilities he must uphold. Amid public speculation, it is crucial to recognize the emotional toll this rift exacts on William himself. He is not merely a prince caught in palace politics, but a brother grappling with loss and betrayal. The private moments of reflection reveal a man who feels abandoned, yet remains loyal to the ideals he holds dear. The transition from partnership to estrangement has been painful, leaving scars that will take time to heal, if ever they do. This internal battle shapes much of William's current mindset and informs his resolve to draw clear lines. Moreover, the media's portrayal of the brothers has only intensified their difficulties. Sensational headlines and intrusion into their private lives exaggerate conflicts and obscure nuanced truths. William, aware of this distortion, seeks to protect his family from further harm while maintaining control over his narrative. This desire for autonomy in managing public perception adds another layer of complexity to their fractured relationship, highlighting the challenge of balancing personal feelings with royal duties. William's determination to cut Harry out of his life stems not from malice, but from self-preservation. Years of strained interactions, unmet expectations, and continuous public scrutiny have worn down his resilience. The protective walls he has erected are as much about safeguarding his own mental well-being as they are about signaling a boundary to others. In this light, his stance becomes an act of courage and vulnerability, revealing the human frailties beneath the crown's polished surface. The echoes of their childhood, shared secrets, and youthful camaraderie contrast starkly with the present estrangement. Reflecting on simpler times underscores the tragedy of their current distance. William's longing for reconciliation battles with his firm belief that some actions cannot be easily forgiven. This internal conflict fuels his emotional turmoil and shapes his decision to keep Harry at arm's length, at least for the foreseeable future. It is also important to consider the wider implications of their break. The royal family, steeped in tradition and public expectation, faces unprecedented challenges from this intimate fracture. William's role as the future king places him in a position where personal grievances must be weighed against the stability of the monarchy itself. His firm stance is a reflection of this heavy burden, showing that the consequences of their rift extend beyond their personal realm and into national consciousness. As William grapples with these complex emotions, his determination signals a turning point. This chapter in their story is not one of reconciliation, but of clear demarcation. William's actions suggest that he is ready to move forward on his own terms, setting conditions that protect his emotional space while navigating the tricky waters of royal duty. The shadow cast by Harry's actions will linger, but William's resolve appears unshaken. In conclusion, the fractured bond between William and Harry is a potent mix of past disappointments, present anger, and future uncertainties. This chapter sheds light on William's perspective, revealing a man pushed to his limits by his brother's decisions in the challenges of royal life. His determination to sever ties or at least distance himself significantly underscores the profound impact of their conflict. As this saga continues to unfold, the world watches closely, anticipating whether time, circumstance, or grace might yet bridge the divide. Turning now to explore the next phase of this story, we will examine how Harry's own perspective and actions have influenced the trajectory of their broken relationship. Understanding his motivations provides crucial insight into the ongoing drama that captivates audiences worldwide. The trigger behind William's fury, the tension between William and Harry has reached a boiling point, fueled by Harry's bold attempts to reclaim his place in the royal spotlight. William's fury is not simply born out of personal strain, it is ignited by what he perceives as Harry's calculated and brazen strategy to return to the public eye and reinsert himself into royal affairs without respect for established boundaries. These actions have stirred deep resentment and a sense of betrayal in William, who feels that Harry's conduct dismisses the dignity of the institution they both once believed in. Harry's recent moves, which include high-profile interviews, memoir revelations, and public appearances, are seen by William as provocations designed to overshadow the family's collective image. From William's perspective, these are not just personal choices, but deliberate efforts to position himself back into royal relevance at a critical family juncture. Such maneuvers imply a disregard for the delicate balance that William strives to maintain between tradition and modernity within the monarchy. This relentless push for attention has left William questioning Harry's motivations, suspecting that his brother prioritizes personal gain over family loyalty. The fractures created by these actions extend beyond mere sibling rivalry. They challenge the very fabric of their relationship. William's determination to distance himself signals a profound shift, one driven by a need to protect his own role and responsibilities from disruption caused by Harry's unpredictable resurgence. Charlotte Griffith's revelations shed light on this complex dynamic, revealing a side of William rarely seen by the public. His anger is not impulsive, but deeply rooted in a sense of duty and frustration. William believes that Harry's return plans undermine efforts to keep royal matters private and disciplined. The audacity to attempt a comeback through media and public statements, while still benefiting from royal ties, strikes at the heart of William's conception of respect and loyalty. Moreover, the public spectacle surrounding Harry's choices exacerbates William's feelings of being overshadowed and disregarded. While William supports a measured approach to royal duty and public engagement, Harry's bold actions appear reckless and self-serving. This stark contrast amplifies the rift, leaving William in a position where he must firmly reject what he views as disruptive attempts from Harry to rewrite his narrative and reassert himself in ways that disregard family sensitivities. The friction is intensified by the fact that Harry's plans seem to ignore previous agreements and understandings between the brothers. William's resentment grows because he perceives these plans as betrayals of trust and shared values that once united them. The feeling that Harry seeks to impose his own terms on a family history they both share fuels William's defensive stance and deepens the chasm between them. In private conversations, sources close to the family say, William has expressed his unwillingness to tolerate any discussion that involves Harry's intentions. The warning that mentioning Harry would result in being thrown out of the room underscores William's resolve to distance himself completely from his brother's trajectory. This is not merely about anger, but about creating a boundary that William refuses to let be crossed, a line drawn firmly around his role and family loyalty. William's frustration is also amplified by the public's polarized perception of the brothers. Harry's narrative, often painted as a quest for independence, contrasts sharply with William's image of steadfast duty. This duality places William in a defensive position where he feels compelled to protect the legacy and stability of the monarchy against what he sees as Harry's disruptive influence. The tension is thus as much about public perception as it is about private family grievances. The emotional weight carried by William is considerable. Witnesses to their interactions note a shift from brotherly concern to hardened resolve. The warmth and camaraderie once evident between them have given way to cool formality and clear boundaries. William's decision to distance himself stems from a need to preserve his own peace of mind amid the chaos brought about by Harry's returns to the spotlight. It is important to understand that William's reaction is not simply defensive, but proactive. He is consciously drawing a line to protect his own mental well-being and the integrity of his responsibilities. This means that public acknowledgments or support for Harry's actions have become increasingly rare and carefully measured, as William navigates a delicate balance between family loyalty and his commitment to the institution he represents. The broader implications of this familial fallout extend beyond personal relationships, impacting the public image of the monarchy itself. As William stands firm against what he perceives as Harry's provocative moves, the royal family's internal discord becomes more visible, forcing those within to confront complex questions about loyalty, tradition, and modernity. This struggle shapes not only the brothers' relationship, but also the future narrative of the monarchy. Remarkably, even amid this turmoil, William continues to carry out his royal duties with dedication and a clear vision. His steadfastness contrasts greatly with Harry's more unpredictable approach, highlighting the fundamental differences driving their conflict. William's determination to maintain order and respect within the royal family signals a broader commitment to preserving the institution in a time of unprecedented scrutiny and change. The media plays no small role in escalating this conflict. Sensational headlines about Harry's return plan and the resulting public debates fuel William's frustration as they amplify misunderstandings and partially informed opinions. William perceives these reports as an overload of distractions, diverting attention from serious matters the monarchy faces and complicating a family already burdened by intense public exposure. Insiders emphasize that William sees Harry's strategy as a direct challenge to the authority and traditions he upholds. This challenge resonates deeply because it threatens not only their personal bond, but also the stability of an entire royal legacy. William's anger stems from a profound sense of responsibility to uphold these traditions in the face of perceived threats from within his own family. Despite the apparent impasse, there are moments when the brothers' shared history and childhood memories briefly soften William's stance. These glimpses reveal a subtle undercurrent of sorrow amidst the anger, acknowledging the complexity of their relationship. Yet even these moments are fleeting, overshadowed by Harry's unapologetic and bold attempts to rewrite their story and reclaim the spotlight. The growing distance between William and Harry also forces other members of the royal family into awkward positions. Allies and relatives find themselves navigating a fragile landscape, where alliances shift and loyalties are tested. William's public disapproval of Harry's actions sets a tone within the family that makes reconciliation increasingly difficult, as emotions run high and wounds deepen. What appears most striking is William's unwavering conviction that Harry must be cut out of certain aspects of his life to shield himself and his immediate family from further disruption. This hardening attitude comes from a place of self-preservation and a desire to maintain a functioning family structure despite the deep divisions. William's decision is a statement of finality, reflecting how deeply Harry's plans have unsettled him. Charlotte Griffith's insights underscore that William's experience is not unique, but emblematic of a wider struggle within the monarchy to adapt to modern challenges without sacrificing core values. The rift with Harry symbolizes a painful but necessary reckoning, one that tests the resilience of both family bonds and institutional traditions under immense pressure. As the royal family continues to navigate this fragile moment, William's fierce stance against Harry's attempts to reclaim royal relevance will remain a defining feature of their fractured relationship. This ongoing conflict highlights the complexities of balancing personal grievances with public duties and sets the stage for further developments in their intertwined, yet increasingly divergent lives. The stage is thus set for the next chapter of this saga, where the consequences of William's fury and Harry's ambitious return will unfold with even greater intensity and far-reaching impact. The future of the royal brothers' relationship. The chasm between William and Harry has grown increasingly evident, reaching a point where bridges seem perilously close to collapse. William's determination to distance himself from his younger brother signals a turning point in their relationship, one shaped by past grievances and recent confrontations. This deepening rift no longer appears to be a temporary dispute, but rather a fundamental divergence in their life paths and values. The public gaze, always keen on royal dramas, watches intently, wondering if such a family fracture can ever be healed or if it marks an irrevocable separation. William's reactions to Harry's actions highlight a man pushed to his limits. When confronted with what he views as Harry's brazen attempts at re-entering the royal fold on his own terms, William's anger is palpable and unwavering. He has reportedly drawn a clear boundary, refusing to entertain conversations that involve his brother, at times expelling those who even mention his name. This vehement stance reflects more than sibling rivalry. It conveys a profound sense of betrayal and frustration as William grapples with the implications of Harry's choices on both personal and familial levels. While tension dominates their interpersonal dynamic, the question remains whether any path to reconciliation exists. Relationships fractured by years of accumulated hurt and public spectacle rarely mend easily. Yet some experts suggest that time, coupled with sincere communication, might offer a chance for understanding and eventual rapprochement. However, given William's current resolve and the deep wounds caused by Harry's perceived disregard for family protocols, this possibility seems fragile and fraught with difficulty. Beyond the brothers themselves, the ramifications of their discord ripple through the royal family and its supporters. The monarchy, already navigating a rapidly changing world with evolving expectations, must contend with the image of internal strife. Public opinion, often shaped by media portrayal, risks seeing a family at odds rather than united. This perception challenges the royal institution's stability and its role as a symbol of continuity and harmony. Consequently, the wider family's cohesion becomes a matter of national conversation, with each member's position scrutinized under the spotlight. Harry's return plan, a term underscored by his unapologetic approach to reclaiming influence and presence, intensifies these tensions. For William, this is not merely about sibling rivalry. It touches on issues of loyalty, legacy, and respect for tradition. William's stance conveys a message that the past actions and decisions of Harry have consequences that cannot be overlooked or casually forgiven. This creates a complex emotional battlefield where personal pain intersects with public responsibility. From a broader perspective, this scenario poses significant questions about the nature of modern royalty. The royal family must balance private relationships with public expectations, a challenge made more acute when these relationships fracture visibly. William's determination to move on without Harry may represent a new model of royal family dynamics, one where rules and respect dictate inclusion, and emotional bonds, while strong, do not override principles and boundaries. Furthermore, the media's role in amplifying the discord cannot be underestimated. Every statement, interview, or gesture is dissected and often sensationalized, adding fuel to the fire and complicating possibilities for private mending. This environment increases the pressure on William and Harry, who must navigate not only personal emotions, but also public narratives that can entrench divisions. Despite these challenges, history shows that reconciliation, even in the most strained families, is possible. The royal family itself has weathered storms before, sometimes emerging stronger after periods of introspection and dialogue. The key elements often involve time, empathy, and the willingness to engage honestly. Whether William and Harry will embark on such a journey remains uncertain, yet the hope for healing lingers among those who observe their story. In the meantime, William appears resolute in prioritizing his immediate family's well-being and his duties within the monarchy. This focus may lead to a redefined role for Harry, or even an official distance that becomes permanent. Such an outcome would reshape the royal family's future interactions and public image, underscoring the lasting impact of this fractured bond. As these dynamics evolve, the public's interest will likely persist, feeding the narrative cycles that keep the royal brothers at the center of attention. Observers wonder if the tension will soften or harden, and what that means for the legacy of both men. Will their relationship become a cautionary tale or an inspiring story of redemption and reconciliation? The path ahead is undoubtedly complex. Both William and Harry hold positions that command public respect, yet their personal choices and reactions carve very different trajectories. William's evident resolve communicates a readiness to accept difficult truths, possibly at the cost of losing his brother. Harry's efforts to regain a place within the royal saga continue to provoke strong reactions, testing the limits of familial bonds. Ultimately, this evolving story reflects broader themes of identity, duty, and the search for connection amidst challenging circumstances. As the royal family, and indeed the world, watches closely, the question remains whether the pain of division can be overcome, or if William's move to cut Harry out marks the beginning of a permanently rewritten chapter. This unfolding drama sets the stage for future developments that will reveal not only the fate of the royal brothers, but also the resilience of a family in the public eye. Transitioning to the subsequent exploration, we now delve into how the media portrayal of this rift influences public opinion and the potential consequences for both the brothers' reputations and the monarchy's image.